what pretending to be crazy really looks like. I'm sure you've seen this video pop up at some point in your recommended, whether you saw it on a meme forum, an inspired recreation video, or maybe by one of your favorite Twitch streamers' reactions. This video was truly everywhere. After reaching more than 63 million views, marking JCS's most viral video, JCS would quickly make a pinned comment on the video showing thankfulness towards everyone, and that by JCS's own words, the uploads will be more frequent from now on. But as I'm sure you've all seen the title of this video, that statement would go on to age like 2-week-old seahorse milk, because 9 months later, JCS would state how the uploads on the channel would unfortunately come to a halt due to the unfortunate flagging and community guideline striking issues with YouTube. Was this YouTube's attempt at once again censoring over another Morbid video creator, or was there a reason as to why this may have gone down the way it did? Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to What Happened with JCS, or Jim Can't Swim. Bitch, I'm drowning. Now, I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with JCS's content being spam fed to you on the YouTube algorithm, but if you're an outsider of the morbid topic commentary genre, there might be some things about the channel that you're relatively not familiar with. For starters, keep in mind that although JCS has a main channel with over 5 million subscribers, Jim also has 2 alternative channels, a second channel called JCS with 494,000 subscribers, and a third channel called True Crime Loser that just recently hit 100,000 subscribers. Now, be sure to keep these 2 channels in mind as they will be mentioned within this video. Unlike both the JCS Criminal Psychology and Second Channel, where Jim hires a narrator who goes by the name of Kizume to do all the voiceovers on a scripted document over crime scene footage.
Just as the United Kingdom's unwritten constitution has evolved over the centuries, so has the role of the British monarchy.
On the True Crime Loser channel, however, JCS goes for the opposite style of video by narrating on a video camera and in a rather off-the-cuff commentary fashion.
Her style of navigating her murder trial and case and the interrogations is just exhausting.
Now, I think what makes JCS's quick rise to fame stand out is when compared to other morbid topic commentary channels with relatively similar sized fan bases such as the Buzzfeed Unsolved crew and of course True Crime Daily. Unlike these 2 channels that relied heavily upon teams of multiple editors, videographers, and of course massive casting crews to create fast-paced uploads with relatively fancy edits, JCS's YouTube channels did almost the complete opposite, as the JCS team consisted only of 8 people working on videos with rather simple narrated audio over basic police interrogation footage, with both of the JCS channels having inconsistent and all over the place upload schedules. But despite all of these factors that one might consider to be all disadvantages, the JCS channel ended up easily trumping over both the Buzzfeed Unsolved and True Crime Daily channels combined, gaining tens of millions of views per video, which given their staff's overall size resulted in a way more higher upturn of profit from just simple YouTube monetization revenue. Keep in mind this was also done without the help of any brand deals or sponsorships, which is insane when you think about it, because of course with the exception of simple gameplay walkthrough channels with relatively similar subscriber counts, the concept of a YouTuber with this size of a fan base not having any sponsored content or brands reach out to partner up is insane, although one could argue that having a sponsorship within a JCS video would work about as well as trying to stick a square between a circle hole, but I'm sure JCS would make it work somehow. But anyways, now that we've given the proper context of the JCS channel lore, let's tackle why exactly the channel did so well.
From humble beginnings.
On the date of February 1st, 2017, the official JCS JCS YouTube channel would be created. But it wasn't until almost 2 years later that the JCS channel would officially start to post any actual content. The first string of videos on the channel was a 3-part miniseries on well-known and hated figure Christopher Lee Watts, just only a couple months after Christopher would commit the heinous crime of killing Chris's family, with the first video showing Chris's initial interrogation, the second video showing Chris's lie detector and polygraph test, and the third final video being Chris Watts' confession and attempt to blame the wife as reasoning for the heinous crimes being committed. After the 3-part miniseries came to a conclusion, the JCS YouTube channel would quickly start uploading other criminal-based YouTube content, such as the case of Michael Drechka, the case of Michael Rafferty, the curious case of Dalia DiPolito, and so on so forth. But as time would eventually progress, the JCS channel would eventually start to pop off bit by bit. But it wasn't until May of 2021 that the channel would officially blow up in real time, gaining almost 1 million subscribers in the respectable months of both May and June 2021. Now, when it comes to why exactly the JCS channel did so well, it was mainly because of 3 specific reasons. Firstly, unlike many other morbid related topic commentary channels, instead of diving deep into the dark and disturbing aspects of the crimes committed, JCS would instead go for a more relatively lighthearted and uplifting style of narration delivery, instead going to the police interrogations and showing the audience the many flaws.
Jennifer seems to find her words easily and executes her sentences perfectly.
One of the gentlemen asked my father if he had money in his wallet and where his wallet was.
Contradictions.
If he was certain of his own innocence and morality, then he would be more likely to express concern over his own judge of character, rather than attempting to downplay the relationship.
And admittable guilt of the suspects interviewed.
I'm going to ask for an attorney. You want to ask for an attorney? Yeah. Okay.
It would come as no surprise that a judge deemed him fit to stand trial.
Which was of course a lot more helpful, as it would open the JCS channel to a lot more age demographics, and as well as people who weren't relatively familiar with crime related content. Secondly, unlike many other morbid video creators, the JCS series took a more psychoanalysis view on the topic by mixing in themes from many body language and mental health analysis YouTubers. Lastly, the series also gave people the opportunity to essentially see a relatively unheard of viewpoint when it came to criminal analysis. For example, with the video titled Guilty Until Proven Innocent, giving us an insight as to what it may be like for most of the audience that hasn't gotten into any serious criminal trouble, and what it's like to be accused of a crime that they did not commit. The video, What Pretending to Be Crazy Really Looks Like, showed us how various detectives as well as law enforcement are able to determine when someone is truly mentally insane or simply just faking it for ease of punishment or gaining sympathy. It also gave us viewers an insight as to what actually happens when an individual is deemed legally insane after being proven guilty for committing a horrible crime. But anyways, now that I've given you the proper reasonings for why the channel rose to such fast-paced prominence, let's discuss the many issues, controversies, and allegations that JCS has had with the big boy YouTube. Now, the word known as shadow banning has been heard of and talked about pretty prominently by many YouTubers alike, from genre to genre and niche to niche. I myself have always been pretty skeptical about whenever YouTubers have used the whole "my video was shadow banned" reasoning as to why a specific video or channel hasn't been doing as consistently well as they would like it to. Because on one side of the discussion, you have the YouTubers that have used the whole shadow banning is a BS stance.
A quick Google search, you can actually get shadow banned by YouTube for having a strike.
So it can also YouTube does something like a soft ban. Your videos lose ranking on search terms. I think you just had a low view month. What Speed's saying is just bullshit. Like, he just had a bad performing month. and then he's molding.
have consistently in the past used it as an excuse as to why videos on their channels haven't been doing as well as they would like it to. And on the other side of the situation, you also have the YouTubers that have preached the whole stance of quote unquote my YouTube video was shadow banned.
But the video did not reach recommendations for some reason. Talking to some big YouTubers, apparently there's this thing called a shadow ban.
Despite also having videos in the past where they openly contradict this exact stance.
As a successful creator, can you elaborate on any YouTube myths that you've heard?
This you?
Yeah, that's a good question. When people say,
hey y'all, come look at this.
They say like I've been shadow banned. Oh, some dumb shit.
Hold up, wait a minute. Stop the cap.
The hypocrisy on both sides is literally unreal.
By the way, don't try to sue me because all the information I'm getting is from YouTube.
This you?
That's literally it. I'm not like defaming you or anything. This isn't defamation of character. This is what you've written and how it's contradicting other shit you've made.
This you? This you? This you?
But anyways, jokes aside, let's be real here. JCS was not and is not to this day ever been shadow banned. It would make no sense for YouTube to do something like that given how insanely huge and how massive the amount of consistent viewership this channel was getting to this day. Not to mention the fact that this channel still gets more viewers than the amount of overall subscribers even a year after their last posted video. This channel literally has videos that are unlisted which get comments on them to this day, where people in the comments literally point out that YouTube was recommending the video to them in their YouTube feed. You'd think that if YouTube was truly shadow banning this channel, they wouldn't recommend unlisted videos that wouldn't even pop up on the channel's video feed. So I think it's safe to say that this has been debunked. But anyways, with that being said, we shall now address the other red flags JCS has had when it comes to dealing with YouTube as a platform.
Round 1. Fight!
Now, I'm sure a lot of you are aware by now that one of the main reasons why JCS hasn't been able to come back and upload newer content is because of various issues with YouTube and its moderation when regarding the flagging system. You see, when it comes to the morbid topic commentary genre, unlike the general commentary community or film and movie review side of YouTube, when it comes to the morbid side of YouTube, or at least JCS's video series, dealing with copyright issues, aside from of course the occasional music copyright claim here and there isn't really any significant issues that occur when it comes to YouTube strikes, given that police interrogations and court hearings properly fall under the Creative Commons 3.0 licensing and are explicitly confirmed to be public domain. So that helps to solve that as a potential issue in this debacle. However, when it comes to the issue of getting community guideline strikes, the morbid video genre tends to get hit with these issues more than other commentary genres, which is understandable given that of course many of the topics discussed tend to contain dark, disturbing, and of course sometimes harmful content, which is where the current situation ultimately leaves us off. On the date of January 13th, 2022, JCS would make an official Twitter post demanding that Team YouTube give a legitimate reasoning as to why many of their videos were taken down from the platform, whilst also tagging many streamers on the Twitter post. Not surprisingly, this post would go on to shout outrage, not just from the YouTube community itself, but also from the many streamers tagged, showing clear distress and proper confusion as to why YouTube would do something so drastic without any proper form of communication. Now, over the course of a few months passing by, YouTube have reinstated videos, removed others, and then at one point removed all but 3 remaining videos to the channel. But thankfully, most of the videos have been properly reinstated, so we shall address the ones that have still been flagged to this day.
Finish him!
Now, thankfully, with the helpful use of the Internet Archives, I was able to identify most, if not all, of these specific videos page by page. There were a solid 3 videos that were removed from the channel, aka the Psychology of Prince Andrew, the Case of Andy B, and most recent, Christmas with Cliff, all been flagged down and have yet to be reinstated to this day. Keep in mind, this was just months after YouTube had been confronted with MamaMax's YouTube pick a side drama, where YouTube openly said that they were going to be more lenient on morbid topic-based commentary. After watching these 3 videos on the archive, I was able to somewhat compile a substantial reasoning as to why the 3 videos might have been flagged down by the YouTube policy team. But that doesn't make any of these reasonings any less ludicrous, and only goes to show that YouTube has consistently lacked one of the main factors that almost everyone has been preaching about on the platform. Firstly, the video titled The Psychology of Prince Andrew was not flagged for anything contained within the video's content, as the whole purpose of it was to simply show how blatantly contradictory.
And it would be to some extent a stretch to say that, as it were, we were close friends. I mean, we were friends because of other people. And I had a lot of opportunity to go to the United States, but I didn't have much time. I suppose I saw him once or twice a year, perhaps maybe maximum of 3 times a year.
And how truly inconsistent Andrew was within the interview.
More defensive communication. He is now trying to downplay his frequency of visits by using the adverb only, as in, I only visited a convicted 3 times a year, so there's no way I can be guilty. The simple fact is that the frequency of visits are irrelevant. He could have visited once every decade and still committed an untold number of crimes against children.
But to also discuss Andrew's involvement with infamously convicted child offender and trafficker Jeffrey Epstein. There's nothing really disturbing or graphic about the interview that's shown in the video. It's just Prince Andrew repeatedly fumbling over word choice.
But it would be a considerable stretch to say that he was a very, very close friend.
And struggling to answer the simplest of questions in a timely manner.
You were perceived by the public as being the party prince. Was that something you shared?
I think that's also a bit of a stretch. I don't know why I've collected that title, because I never have really partied.
The question was non-incriminating, so it makes little sense as to why he would be so stuttery and spurious in his response.
The ultimate reasoning as to why the video was taken down could essentially be at the very end, where there are various memes that discuss and mock Mr. Epstein's self-deletion attempt, since I could see why YouTube wouldn't be too comfortable with something publicly making the topic of self-deletion seem like a rolling on the floor laughing meme, but even that fundamental logic sounds like nothing short of literal mental gymnastics, as YouTube's logic of someone actually being reasonably upset over someone taking the piss out of a convicted child offender would make about as much sense as if the app TikTok started to take down videos of people mocking Amber Heard's "my dog stepped on a bee" testimony for quote-unquote harassment and bullying. But even if YouTube were somehow justified in the foreseeable removal of this content, it still shows a clear lack of transparency and communication, an issue that many creators have consistently grilled YouTube on when it comes to their specific issues for this platform.
This is the problem, YouTube. There is no communication. There is no respect for the people that make you who you are.
As all YouTube would have simply needed to tell JCS was that they weren't comfortable with the usage of the various memes that were mocking the controversial topic of self-deletion. Simply tell JCS to remove those clips contained within the video, as shown by the many re-uploads of this exact video which do not contain those ending meme clips, which YouTube has not made any attempt to flag or age restrict. And you know what JCS would have done? Simple. Would have clicked on the video, gone into the YouTube editor, cut out those clips, bam, problem solved.
I promise you, I would have been no problem. That's it. Here, let me click, drag this, okay, X, boom. I would have gladly removed the part or any other parts.
The situation above just clearly shows another instance of a ridiculously easy problem requiring a ridiculously easy solution. The second video, titled "The Case of Andy B," has a relatively more justifiable reason as to why it may have been taken down, as during the video itself, the police interrogation and court case footage do show the perpetrator Andy B in a relatively graphic light. But when considering the fact that unlike many of the other JCS videos, the creator Jim actually went through the trouble of properly blurring out any of the defendant's injuries, and the only clip that shows Andy B's injuries is from a local Channel 6 news station, this not only shows a clear lack of communication, as all YouTube would have simply needed to tell Jim was to blur Andy B's injured face in that clip, which YouTube themselves literally have as an offered feature within their built-in editor, but it also sets up a clear unfair double standard, because why is it that a news channel is allowed to show the raw, unfiltered details of perpetrator Andy B's injuries and completely get away with it with absolutely no punishment, but whenever individual content creators want to show these clips, they're forced to censor it out because of the sheer fear of getting videos taken down with the label of violent content used as the justified reasoning? Yeah, YouTube, you kind of just indirectly admitted to blatant favoritism there.
YouTube, you guys play favorites? Here's my proof.
The last video, titled "Christmas with Cliff," was the most recent video posted to the JCS main channel around December 16th, 2021, meaning it was taken down within less than a month of it being uploaded to the platform. But out of the 3 flagged and yet to be reinstated videos, this one might be the most justified in its reasoning for why it was taken down. You see, the offensive part of the video is during 2 specific timestamps of the police interrogation where Cliff uses the N-word, hard R, in a both racist and blatantly offensive context towards the deputies. I'm not going to play the instances where Cliff uses the word, but if you want to fact check it yourself, there will be a link down below to an archived video for it, and the timestamps for those instances are 13 minutes and 28 seconds and 16 minutes and 45 seconds. So yeah, if you listen to the full context of those clips, you can tell why the video was flagged down, not just because of trolls who spam reported those instances in the same way that people on Twitch spam report instances of the N-word happening on stream, but I'm sure there were some people who may have been in their right to be uncomfortable given how extremely derogatory the word can be, and since many streamers who reacted to the video have taken the proper precautions to mute the instances where the word was said.
Okay, I see what to skip. So apparently there's 2 TOS parts. Chat, if you want to also help remind me at those times. Perfect timing. Let's mute and listen.
Alex is a stupid.
He said the N-word, very bad. Hard R, very, very bad, very rude, unkind, unwell mentally.
I don't go to welfare.
Do you want to listen?
Yeah, I want to listen.
Don't worry, we're not listening. Ew, he just says it again. Disgusting shit.
I kind of unironically agree with Pokimane on this stance. JCS, why the hell would you not think to mute the instances where the word is dropped and just inform people by pausing the clip and telling them as such? But even with that reasoning being, this still goes back to the main issue that so many creators have had with this platform, which is proper communication.
They need to trust their creators and community more. Let's say, for example, this clip was actually bad, which it's not, but let's just say, for example, you know what they could have done to handle it? They could have reached out. They could have just talked to us. They could have asked us to take it down. Why can't they ask us to do it for them? Why not ask us to self-moderate?
When JCS made the tweet addressing the channel's videos being flagged, why couldn't Team YouTube have simply replied saying, "At JCS, we have removed your Christmas with Cliff video because of 2 instances of timestamps, 1328 and 1645, were an extremely offensive and derogatory slur is used within it. We will promise to reinstate your video as long as you promise to mute the exact instances where the offensive wording is used within. Had YouTube simply informed JCS of these issues, this problem could have been so easily taken care of. Effectively, by not properly communicating these issues, YouTube essentially turned what could have easily been resolved with the help of a few simple tweets and emails into the literal purging of a 5 million subscriber channel that had so much potential, the outrage of so many within the YouTube community as well as Twitch streamers, and the killing of the massively prominent true crime genre, effectively turning a literal YouTube outrage mountain out of a simple YouTube video molehill.
Flawless victory.
Now, despite all of this unfortunate news, thankfully in both the conclusions of the YouTube community post and tweet, JCS does mention a potential backup plan being set in place. It's unknown which other video streaming service JCS might take fond of, but given that there are so many other competitors such as Yeardly, BitChute, and Vimeo, which just like YouTube has now actually managed to set up a solid way for creators to fully monetize their video creations, it wouldn't be much of a stretch if the JCS production team started to upload videos on that site, and given the fact that they're still uploading content on the True Crime Loser YouTube channel as well as the JCS Alternative channel, they could easily use their well-respected reputation within the true crime YouTube community and of course the consistent support from well-known popular Twitch streamers as a jump starter for them to shill out more higher production content to a website where they would have no need to worry about demonetization or the competitive nature of the algorithm. I wish you the best of luck, Mr. Jim Can't Swim. But anyways, that's gonna conclude this video. Make sure to like and subscribe. I plan on turning the What Happened to Insert So-and-so YouTuber into a full-on series, so if you want to see a specific YouTuber you're interested in that's gone or missing, make sure you let me know down below in the comment section. But with that being said, I'll see you guys next time.
お前はもう死んでいる。何？